What's up, everybody? I'm Chris Eaton, and welcome to episode 102 of the old Snakes and the Fat Man there. oh, 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 oh. Hey there, everyone. You're tuned in to Snakes and the Fat Man with your host, Chris. I've got something thrilling to share with you today. Have you ever felt a bit lost navigating your snake collection or breeding plans? Well, I've got the solution just for you. Enter Andre and Patrick from Chimera, experts in the field and the guys you wish you knew sooner. They offer top-notch consulting services tailor-made for the snake enthusiast we are. They will help you meticulously evaluate your collection, giving you an insider's look into optimizing your lineup. And that's not all. They also specialize in drafting breeding plans and long-term project planning that factor into both your current needs and future goals, saving you time and resources in the process. With their expertise, breeding becomes a piece of cake. Cake. But here's the clincher. Andre and Patrick can help develop a business model that's designed to work for you. It's a holistic approach for maximizing your investment and passion in snake keeping. Two words there that I hate: holistic and passion. But they're giving me money, so I'm going to shut the fuck up. So don't wander in the dark. Get in touch with Andre and Patrick at Chimera and let the experts guide you. Remember, this is Snakes and the Fat Man, and we're all about taking the hiss out of handling your snakes. My snake hisses when I handle it. Go visit Patrick and Andre now at chimerareptile.com. Tune in next time for more exciting snake-centric chat. Catch you later, folks. Oh my fucking God, are you still being a repta bitch? Wah, I don't want to pay an extra $2 to put my snakes on the best fucking cocoa substrate on the fucking planet. Wah, I don't want to support an American fucking hero that put his life on the line to protect my freedoms. Wah, I would rather ride that cheap, inferior dick of the guy with the fake IG numbers because it makes me look cool. Stop being a piece of shit and use ReptiChip. Get on board the Repta train at www.reptichip.com. Okay, so I don't know why, but I've been following this Slither Files thing, but probably because it fucking pops up on my feed 15 goddamn times a day. And I've noticed, just like everything else in this fucking degenerate hobby, something that started off as a good thing a couple of weeks later ended up being just a fucking dumpster fire of a group. It just seems like now it's this dude Rodney's fucking personal platform to shit all over other big breeders who he's had a problem with in the past. This guy has just been predictable as fuck. Again, I don't know him, never met him. But for a guy that I hear has a tremendous amount of knowledge about reticulated pythons, he's just acting like a petulant child with his vendetta against Garrett and Reach Out Reptiles, and to a lesser extent, Nerd. I just think that this guy Rodney is terrifyingly self-unaware. I think that this guy hasn't done a fraction of what Garrett and Kevin have done for this entire community. Yet he's fucking eco broing everybody, acting like he's fucking God's gift. The fucked up thing is, I just saw him on another podcast where he came off as level headed, intelligent, and about 13% likable. Then I read a new post from the guy where he goes back down to being a 0% likable fucktard. I know you could be likable, brother. I've seen it. Why not take that 13% and fucking run with it? Now, I don't agree with everything Garrett or Nerd does, but you can't deny that they've brought in thousands of people to the hobby. They've raised thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for USARK, and they're both known outside of their specific species that they work with. Can you say that about yourself? I mean, I've never even fucking heard of you till the Slither Files shit. The only thing I've learned from you is that the retic community is just as petty and childish as the fucking ball python community. I'm heading down to Retic Fest this month, and I'll find out firsthand if Garrett is as atrocious as you make him out to be. Come on, brother, you have the ability to do something good here, and what you did with Samson is fucking incredible. Don't ruin it by your personal vendettas with all these people, because if you don't know anything about the reptile industry, you'll know that people just don't fucking care. All right, you know who's not atrocious at all in any way? Sean and Lori Gray of Herps. That's the Herps Exotic Reptile and Pet Expos. Let's see where they're going to be in the next couple of months. They're going to be in Slidell, Louisiana on July 22nd and 23rd. They're going to be in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma on July 29th and 30th. They're going to be in Corpus Christi, Texas on August 12th and 13th. They're going to be in Bryan, that's College Station, Texas on August 19th and 20th. They're going to do another big show in September over in Conroe, Texas on September 9th and 10th. They're going to be in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on September 16th and 17th. They're going to be in Branch Davidian headquarters. I don't give a fuck. That's still fucking funny. Waco, Texas on October 21st and 22nd. Then they're going to be in Lake Charles, Louisiana on November 4th and 5th. Listen, you got any questions? Ask Sean and Lori. Just show up to a fucking Herp show. I guarantee you'll have a good time. www.herpshow.net. Redline Shipping is continuing its race to the top of the reptile shipping world, and they want to get there by summer 2023. I think that Robin's playing coy, and they're already there. I believe they got there a couple of months ago. Prove me wrong, bitches. I'm going to read the rest of this because I haven't memorized it yet. And, that's what you get. I know. I'm a lazy piece of shit. Redline Shipping offers on-time and live arrival insurance and world-class customer service. Partnered with NARBC, Redline Shipping is the gold standard for live shipping services. If you're getting a custom discount from one of the shipping competitors, reach out to Redline and let them try and beat that discount to win your business and support. You are better off Red. Use code ROBIN60 for 60% off the FedEx retail rate on your first 2 shipments. And once you've used that coupon, use code FATMAN5 for an additional $5 off your already discounted price on another shipment. Join Team Redline today and be better off Red at redlineshipping.com. Oh, and another thing about this Slither Files thing. Again, started off as a great idea to get a scumbag out of the fucking hobby, turned into a steaming pile of dog shit. Apparently, all you under 30 non-contributing fucking zeros in this hobby who hated body shaming last week find it okay now to body shame people. I mean, as long as it's somebody you hate, it's okay, right? Now, I'm all for body shaming people. Believe me, I body shame myself. It's in the fucking name. I just find the whole thing funny as fuck. But I don't understand how just in the last week, I've seen all of you fucks who were so anti-body shaming just piling on this skinny little bitch that looks like she uses heroin, girlfriend of Samson, and apparently it's all okay. These same people 2 weeks ago were attacking me because I called some fat fuck chubby. Welcome to the dark side, all of you hypocritical little fucking douches. I've been saying it for the last 2 years and none of you listened. How long did you think this toxic positivity shit was gonna last? I mean, I didn't think that a Facebook group and the largest reptile sales platform was gonna be this big a part of it. But, hey, what are you gonna do? Welcome to the reptile community, where we're all inclusive and welcoming until the second you disagree with something that we do. Say goodbye to spreadsheets. Say hello to Clutch. Hey, Clutch, how you doing? This brand new cloud-based software makes managing your ball python collection simple. With Clutch, you can easily create, search, and filter your collection, visualize your projects with analytics and insights, keep track of past, present, and future clutches, and connect every customer with the perfect animal using a robust waitlist system. That word is kind of growing on me. Head on over to Clutch, that's CLTCH.io, and get ready to discover the power of your collection. All right, for the first time ever, we got some breaking news here at Snakes and the Fat Man. It just happened to come in while I was recording this episode, and I felt like we should at least give it a couple of minutes and talk about it. Everybody knows how I feel about Bob Clark. I don't really like the guy, not for anything personal that he did for me, just the overall vibe. I had him on the show, and we just didn't vibe together. Maybe I threw him in a box that I shouldn't have, but I don't like him. Everybody knows how I feel about Darian over at Morph Market. I just don't like the guy. I don't like how he's doing shit. I don't like how he's advertising. I wouldn't be surprised if Morph Market is gone in a fucking year. Now, that being said, man, did Bob fucking just make Darian look like a little fucking bitch? Okay, I'm going to leave the link in the description underneath this video so you guys could check it out. And it's really Bob just confronting Darian about suspending or banning his account. And it wasn't fucking pretty. I got to be honest with you. Bob went old school on Darian, and, it didn't look like Darian could take it. Bob absolutely won that fucking phone call. Go listen to it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Now, if Darian has the power to ban a guy like Bob Clark, who's had some shit said about him, of course. I've never been to Bob's facility. I've never met Bob in real life. But I know that he had some shit, thrown about him. He's also had a ton of positive reviews. So if Morph Market could ban or suspend a guy like that, how long do you think it's going to take them to ban you if you do something that they don't agree with? I mean, that's just something that everybody has to think about, okay? Again, I don't like either of them, but fucking Bob clearly won this battle. Kudos to Bob. Fucking good for you for standing up for your shit. I'm still not going to be best friends or buddies with you, but have to give respect where respect is fucking due. He really just fucking trumped the Morph Market guy, and it's going to make a lot of people worry. So that's all I'm going to say about it. Bob definitely won that battle. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Really, and not only did he win, but he clearly won. Okay, so maybe it'll make Darian shift in the way that he's doing things. But I will say this, and I'm positive about this. This would have never happened when John was in charge. So I bet you guys didn't think last year that we'd be missing John Lehman like a motherfucker right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes and the Fat Man proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Live!
Hey guys, it's Justin at Canova. So in the past few years, Canova's become the top source for amazing ball pythons. Now Chris tells me, Justin, it's time to give back. So we're sponsoring the 15 minutes of lane to support the new and upcoming breeders. So jump in here. Let's hear your ideas. Let's hear your thoughts. Maybe you can turn your 15 minutes of lane into 20 years of lane, just like I did. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. So bring it.
15 minutes of lame!
All right, everybody. Look who I have here. I have Ann fucking Ring from Mosaic Morphs. What's up, Ann?
Hey, what's up, Chris? How are you?
Good, just plugging away. You know how it is.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're down in Florida, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you're a ball python person.
Yes. I know. Another ball python breeder.
Yep. I know. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this over with. Okay. You know how it works. I'm going to give you 15 minutes on the clock. You're going to give me your spiel and why people should buy from you. And we're going to start that right about now. So first of all, the name Mosaic Morphs. Does it mean something, or did you just try to find something that started with an M to make it work with Morphs?
No, actually, and I know, yeah, like M&M, Mickey Mouse, whatever. No, actually, for me, the whole draw of the ball python world was the colors and the patterns and putting them together, and the cliche of the mosaic of colors and patterns you could make from that. And hence came Mosaic Morphs, as we thought about what can we call ourselves. You know, with me being a pirate, first we thought something pirate themed, and I'm like, no, I don't need to be a Gasparilla, anything. Really, it was all about the mosaic and the creation you can make with the different morphs of the ball pythons. So that's where it came from.
Okay. I'm going to give you like a 7 on the name, because if people knew how hot as fuck you looked in a pirate hat, I think they would have preferred the pirate name, but it's okay. Now,
all right. Well, thanks for the 7.
You're in Florida, right?
Yes.
With, I mean, big shots like fucking Ken Masick, Steve Morphs, fucking you got ballroom pythons down there. You just have these huge people in the industry down there. Why should people buy from you?
Well, just like every other ball python breeder out here, you know, we all have our focus. Our focus is staying small. I'll use the word boutique. I'm not going to be a Steve Morphs with thousands of animals. We're sitting right now around 85 animals, several of which are for sale. And we have projects we like, and we're going to have stuff for not only pet trade, but for breeder trade. If you like to, you know, looking for those double hets, that's what we're going to be producing here in the next year or two. And hopefully creating some really beautiful stuff. We have a one-on-one relationship with our animals. It's small enough that we can do that. The babies, they're handled every day. And when they leave here and go to a home, they're not head shy. They're not snappy. They're all very well handled and great pet or breeder pythons. So it's up to everybody's, you know, own particular what they want and what they're looking for. But we can offer quality and well cared for animals.
Okay. And how long? Excuse me, we're going to cut that out. Jesus Christ. How long have you been doing this?
We got started in early 2019. Actually, my partner, Mark, he was breeding a long time ago. He actually grew up in the Detroit area, Sterling Heights, actually. He and Brian Barczyk actually knew each other growing up. And he was into retics, Kenyan Samboas, Burmese pythons. He did that a long time ago. And a work injury took him out of the industry 100%. He had to sell off his entire collection at that time. And after we had been together a little while, he introduced me to the world of reptiles, took me to my first show, and it all kind of morphed from there. I came home from our
I see what you did there. Okay.
What's that?
I see what you did there. Right.
It all plays together, right? But really, that's where it all started. 2019, my first reptile show. We spent an entire weekend at a show, and by the time it was over, I left with my first setup and my first ball python, and it just took a new life after that.
And when was the year you had your first clutch?
2021.
Okay, so you have had clutches, which immediately puts you in the front running from a lot of the people that have been on this year. So that's definitely a good thing.
Right. We only had one in 2021. Last year we had 4.
Okay.
And this year they're all going to go late. For some reason, all of our girls seem to go late in the year. So we have November, December, January babies, and it looks like we're going to end up in the same type of pattern this year.
Okay.
But we've got several different things we're working on this year. And then our power hitters are finally getting up to size. So hopefully next year is going to be a much bigger, better year for us.
Right.
With a little bit of investment that we've done and some great trades recently that kind of take us to the next level.
Well, that's kind of leads right into the next question. How much have you put into this versus how much have you taken out in the 4 years that you've been doing this?
We've put an awful lot into it. I would say we're probably in the 30,000 plus investment.
Okay.
I've done an extra investment this year, upgrading the racks. I never intended on growing as much as we did, but the addiction took hold, and hence we're where we are today. But the investment's been made in the ARS racks. I'll pick those up at Daytona and completely change our setup and get us prepared for the next step in the breeding.
So what would you say you made in the last 4 years?
Not very much.
$3,000?
If I'm lucky, maybe 2,500.
So possibly not even a tenth of that 30 grand.
No, it really has all been investment. We've done a lot of buying from baby and growing, not buying adults and getting right into breeding. It was more about, this is where I'm starting. So we did have some adults early on that we had invested in, and being uneducated in certain things, we had a major mishap and lost what would have been the first year breeding stock. And learned very rapidly what to buy, what not to buy, and have made improvements as we've moved along. And, this is just the next step, upgrading the VEs to the herpestats, upgrading the racks to the ARS, and really just trying to make everything as good as we can at this point in preparation for next steps.
So I'm not going to ask you how old you are, okay? But you started this in 2019, right? So 4 years ago, you were a lot older than most of the people getting into it.
Right.
And has that been good or bad, do you think?
I don't know. I think there's pros and cons, being I'll say an older person getting into it. I watch all the young up and comers now. They're a little more tech savvy than us seasoned veterans. But I'm having fun with it.
Have you ran into any problems with that as far as sales? Because I almost think that for the non-industry person, seeing you at a show would make people more apt to buy from you, right? Because you have that whole hot mom vibe that's like not you're not like a 23-year-old trying to sell them an animal to get $300. You're more like you have that vibe about you where you're just like, I'm not going to sell you this because I don't need the $300. If I think that it's going to be, if you're going to provide a shit home for this thing,
right?
So I would imagine that I would use that for my benefit.
Well, I'll tell you, I did my first show a couple weekends ago, the Tampa Repticon, and worked at a friend of mine, kind of my little semi-mentor, Mark Baldell with MB Exotics. He kind of took me under his wing and allowed us to share a table with him. And kind of the trade-off was, I told him, I said, we don't have a whole lot to sell, But if we can at least start to get our name out there, I'm more than happy to help sell your snakes. And he had so many snakes out there that I had a great time. And he was crediting me pretty much with, wow, you sold a lot of snakes. You want to do the show with me?
Oh, good. Okay. All right.
I had a great time. You know, we brought a couple of our bigger guys. They're the bright yellow ones because everybody likes the bananas, and was interacting with people. And, you know, it was nice when they picked up a baby and said, well, how big is this going to get? Well, here's an adult male, you know, this is average size, and little kids that had never touched snakes before. I had a great time interacting with them. You know, I guess that's the grandma in me, you know, come up here, little kid, let me expose you to the world of ball pythons. And we had a good day, good weekend.
Well, is there a plan for Mosaic Morphs to do their own show soon or no?
Not soon. I don't think it behooves me with only 9 snakes to sell right now to worry about that piece of it. Mm-hmm. I'll continue as long as he allows me to continue to bring what I have and put my name out there. Right. I'll continue to help him, you know, with his business, and he'll continue to allow me to put my stuff on his table and put my name out there. I think it's a good trade-off for right now. Until I really have inventory to sell, I don't think it behooves me to get a whole table. Does that make sense? Maybe that's just
you like that fucking word behoove, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an old person thing.
I guess. I don't know. I'm older than you. I never use that word. So let's talk some sponsors here real quick. You're in Florida, so you have to have a sea serpent rack or incubator in your house, right?
Nope.
Oh, really?
No.
That's just insulting to Chris. So
I'm so sorry. I know, Chris but I was into supporting the local people, so that's what I did.
Chris Nettles is local.
Yeah, there was some more local, but that's okay.
Well, Chris Nettles gives you a big old FU. Okay. Do you have a focus cubed habitat cage in that house?
No, all we have is rack systems.
You're like, fuck Florida and fuck Texas. So Ashley and Steven give you a big old fuck you. Do you have anything besides ball pythons?
No.
Strictly ball pythons?
Yes.
Normally that would be okay. However, Frank over at Geeky Gecko Creations is going to give you a big old FU. You're 0 for 3 right now. Okay.
I am very lame. I told you.
We're going to start up. We're bringing in the next batter here because you struck out.
Okay.
Now, do you own anything from, let's see. No, let's say you've obviously never been to a herp show if you're going to fucking Repticon shows.
Not been to her, but I have been to NARBC in Arlington.
Okay. Man, that's a double fuck you to the herps guy from Texas. It's like I'm not going to see you. I'm going to the big guys.
That was a great show.
Sean and Lori give you a big old fuck you. I was at Arlington. I'm well aware. I agree with you. Have you ever bought a snake from Justin over at Canova?
Nope.
Holy shit. Justin gives you a big old fuck you. I got a feeling he's going to give you a double fuck you now because you're not using clutch, right?
Not using what? Clutch? Nope. No, I tried to get on his beta, but I guess I didn't have enough to get into that.
Yeah, but it's not even in beta anymore.
Well, I know, but I'm invested in Husbandry Pro now, so I'm not willing to make the switch yet.
I can't even I can't give you a hard time about that because I know Husbandry Pro is also pretty well established. Do you use ReptiChip?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. JT Tomlinson does not give you a fuck you. Have you ever shipped out a snake yet?
Yes, 2 of them.
And did you use Redline shipping?
I did.
Fuck, here we go. All right.
Look, see, I even have their awesome black snake bags. I love them.
There you fucking go. Robin does not give you a fuck you. That's awesome. I don't know what we're going to do here because I have a feeling that Blake Stewart's going to give you a giant fuck you right now.
I agree.
Obviously, you didn't use Stewart Design for your logo, right?
No.
Okay. he's going to give you a fuck you, but it's a small fuck you because you don't have the number of clutches right now that would inherently make you be able to want to use SD design,
Yeah.
or Stewart design,
My
because
daughter-in-law actually designed my logo.
oh man, yeah, Blake's never gonna get in between that. So Blake will give you a small fuck you for not using him, but he'll give you a non-fuck you for being very family oriented. Okay.
Well, thanks.
Now, what are your big projects?
Big projects. Well, as you know from previous discussions, we're still working that Mackenzie thing. That's on his side, but the big stuff coming up is we've got some acid in the works and some puzzles in the works.
Yeah, there you go. Those are my two favorite jeans right now.
And yeah, we happened into a great little trade-off with Ricardo Flores out of CR Serpents in Texas, and picked us up a pewter Het Daddy puzzle male, and not Het puzzle, Het Daddy puzzle. And we got a acid pastel Het puzzle female.
Nice. Okay.
From him. Yeah. And we have an acid male that's already doing his thing, and a puzzle male that we're actually putting to a super OD right now to make some hets.
Okay. Well, that's not bad, but luckily, boom, you're out of fucking time. But I'm so happy that I didn't have to cut you off, because I would have felt bad. Okay. Good. Because Ann Ring is a staple at like every Zoom call and every other dumb show that we do. And I would hate to just fucking cut her off and be a dick when she's showing up at everything that we do. How can people get in touch with you, Ann?
Okay, you can find me on Morph Market, Mosaic Morphs, Gmail, Mosaic Morphs 2020 at gmail.com, or I am on Instagram under Mosaic_Morphs.
Oh, why'd you use the underscore?
Early on, we had leaked out our name, and someone started setting things up under our name. Oh,
really? They tried to steal the name?
So, yeah, so we had to make some quick changes so we could keep it.
Right. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, let's end with a question then. What do you think is the best thing and the worst thing about this stupid fucking hobby right now?
The best thing is all the people that I've met. I met some really great people, formed some really great relationships. The worst thing is, I would say, the volatility of the market right now, and the backstabbing that I'm also seeing going on. Yeah,
well, I mean, if you want to get into a hobby with shit talking, this is definitely the hobby to fucking get into.
Yes.
But
not
what are you going to do?
But yeah.
Yeah. All right, Ann. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I'm going to put you in the green room. Everybody go follow Ann fucking Ring of Mosaic Morphs. You're going to fucking love her. Fucking sweetheart. And if you follow her, you get to see pictures of her in her hot little pirate costume. So that's the thing to do. All right, Ann Ring, Mosaic Morphs, everybody. Ann, thank you for doing this. And just hang out for 2 minutes in the green room for me, okay?
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Batman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
Listen, guys, Stewart Design doesn't just create logos, they build brands. What do I mean by this? Well, your brand has both a verbal and visual side. Think of this as your brand message and brand image. Your brand message is what initially draws clients to you and continually generates new business. After that, the quality of your product and service keeps them coming back and retains them. Without effective messaging, you're only going to be connecting with a small percentage of the clients you could be connecting with. Your brand message helps you clearly define who you are, how are you different from your competitors, what value you offer to your clients, and why potential clients should choose you over others. For this reason, Stewart Design always starts branding projects by developing your brand's message first. Creating a logo without understanding why and how it needs to look is only going to hold your company back and should be considered fucking malpractice. Stewart Design starts by clarifying your goals, audience, and industry. Then they form your messaging. After that, they strategically determine what colors, styles, and fonts make the most sense to use. And then finally, how the logo needs to look and function. You see, the visual identity of a company should be a natural result of proper strategy. Because the question really shouldn't be, do I like this? It should be, will this work? Stewart Design figures out what will actually work and provides you with a true investment to grow your business. When done right, it should attract the right people and it should reflect your business properly. It should make your company more memorable and it should build trust and credibility with your clients. On the other hand, if it's done poorly, it could do the exact opposite. It could make you look amateur and can actually deter your business. Don't settle for a fucking idiot that simply offers you a cheap logo. Build your brand the right way. Bring out your best so you could get it right from the start and finally move out of your mother's fucking basement, crush it at Tinley, Pomona, or Arlington, and build a life for yourself doing what you love. Contact Stewart Design today. You could reach them at stewartdesignbrands.com. Again, that's stewartdesignbrands.com. So as soon as I saw one of Bobby Bledsoe's YouTube videos, I fucking liked the guy. Scruffy beard, fucking fat guy, musician, comedian, loves reptiles. Brother from another mother, man. Brother from another fucking mother. Here's my one-on-one with Bob Bledsoe of Green Room Pythons. What's up, everybody? Look who I have here. Bobby Bledsoe. What's up, Bob Bledsoe? What's going on?
That's right. You know what? People used to call me Bobby when I was very young.
I was gonna say you look more like a Bob these days.
Yeah, I'm more of a Bob. Actually, I wish that I had gone with Robert a long time ago when I sort of established what my name was going to be, because there's not many Bobs in my generation, in our generation, right? It's our dad's generation.
Yeah, that would be our dad's generation. Yeah. I don't know anybody. Yeah, I don't know anybody named Bob that I don't call Robert these days, or I don't really know any Bobby. I mean, Bobby just feels like such a 13-year-old kid on the schoolyard kind of, kind of thing. I'd feel like a dick fucking call my friends Bobby at 50 years old,
I hope we just talk about names through the entire interview. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, dude, we could totally do that. God knows we don't got to talk about
people are going to love that.
Right. Now you're from Washington originally.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I grew up in Spokane.
What brought you out to LA?
Well, I grew up in Spokane and then ended up in Seattle as a young adult and started doing stand-up comedy in Seattle and started doing a little touring and then doing some commercials and like indie films. And like if a TV show came to Seattle, I'd get a shot at doing one of the small roles. And I just moved to LA once I had enough sort of attention from when a few casting directors knew who I was in Los Angeles. I was like, I should move down there and try to be on TV occasionally if I can.
Right. Well, it's just an easier place to be, right? Because I was a musician and I was like, I'm definitely going to move to LA because nothing's going on in New York, Yeah. So I gave it a shot and banged it out. How long have you been in LA for?
20 plus years.
Wow, 20 years, right?
I would say, yeah. And when I got here, I hit the ground running. I was still touring as a comic and, touring comedy clubs and stuff and like really trying to get acting work. And it was this sort of stressful thing of like, okay, as soon as I get on a sitcom, then I'm going to be headlining, comedy clubs. And as soon as I get on the big screen, now I'll really be headlining comedy clubs. And eventually I realized that that's not true.
Right.
You get on a sitcom, it doesn't really matter. And you get, you end up racking up credits, but it's not that big of a deal. And then I also just had some weird sort of bad experiences with comedy clubs that I kind of went, I don't want to be a touring comic. Like, I don't think I want to do the circuit. I kind of just want to stay in LA.
Right.
So,
And so you did the circuit though for a couple of years?
yeah, longer than that.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you're out there doing every Zanies in like Nashville and
Yeah, not Nashville, but Zanies in Chicago for sure. The original
yeah,
Zanies.
right.
Yeah.
Is the Cellar still open out there in LA?
The Cellar. No.
Comedy Cellar?
No, not that I know of.
Hmm.
There's
That's
the
where all like
Improv and
the Joe Rogans and shit you know were brought up.
yeah,
I think that's where Pauly Shore's mother owned that.
yeah, that's not the Cellar. That's the well, shoot, now I can't think of it because when somebody can't think of the right thing and then you can't
Yeah,
think of it
no, I got
either.
you.
There's the Improv, the Laugh Factory, and down the street from the Laugh Factory is the Comedy Store.
Comedy
that
Store.
is-
Oh, that's what I meant. Oh,
That's it,
okay, the
yeah.
store. Yeah, the Cellar I think was in New York. The Comedy Store and the Laugh Factory, that's right off Sunset, right?
That's on Sunset. Yeah.
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 Okay. All right.
Not
It's
far from one another.
a little bit down further than like the Rainbow and Roxy and all that, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of still in that area.
Right.
The whiskey stuff,
And
yeah.
did you spend a lot of time there, like when you first moved to LA?
I spent a lot of time at the Improv.
At the
I spent
Improv.
a little bit of time at the Laugh Factory and did only a few sets at the Comedy Store, but I did a lot at the Improv, and then I love doing stand-up comedy and I love performing, but when I decided it wasn't too long into being in LA that where like I would be on the road doing stand-up. I remember being at Zanies in Chicago and getting a call from my manager saying, "Hey, Sony wants to see you for a final audition for this new show." It was just a hidden camera show on BET, and I had auditioned like 3 times for it to be one of the regular performers, and
Right.
it was back when hidden camera shows were a thing when they were cool,
Right.
And I was like, dude, I can't, like, I'm in Chicago. I can't be Sony wanted to see me the next day. And I was like, I can't do it. I'm in Chicago. And fortunately, because of some other reason, they had to move their audition, their meetings to the following week. And I did go, and I actually booked that job. We only went half a season and then we got canceled. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that could have been a good gig. That could have been like a good sitcom or something like that. And I just got lucky that they moved it. They didn't move it for me. They moved it for something else.
Right.
But the point was that I'm doing this thing on the road. I'm like staying in comedy condos with other comics that I don't know who are like drug addicts, alcoholics,
Right.
kleptomaniacs, and it's not really the life that I want to lead. And I'm missing opportunities to do what I want to do,
Right. And
So-
and who were some of the comedians that made it from your time? Like who were the big guys?
I'm trying to think. I came up in Seattle, so there's nobody in Seattle that became big. So Mitch Hedberg started long before me, but I used to open for Mitch. He would come.
Oh,
So
cool.
Mitch started in Seattle, so he would come back to perform, and I opened for him a number of times. But he was kind of a generation before me,
Right,
Not
right.
not age wise, but comedy wise. But that was cool to do shows with him. I don't know, like there wasn't even okay. So Fahim Anwar, who is a pretty big comic now,
Right.
super funny dude. He came up with me in Seattle. He's gotten a number of Comedy Central stuff, and he's doing well. Yeah, trying to
Yeah,
think of who
there's
else.
man, I remember that Mitch Hedberg joke. It figures he's from Seattle because he did that joke. I think Bigfoot really is blurry. Okay.
I love that one. Just a big blurry ape running through the forest.
I fucking love that guy. And who are some of the guys that you like now?
By the way, let me tell you a quick Mitch story. One time I was in the green room, hadn't seen Mitch in like a year, and I'm about to open for him at the Comedy Underground in Seattle. And I'm like way heavier than I am now at this time. Mitch comes into the green room and sees me, doesn't say hi, doesn't say, hey, Bob, good to see you or anything, because he kind of was exactly like his persona on stage.
Right.
He turns to me, he goes, hey, Bob, man, do you have any cocaine? And I go, big fat guy, like, no. I go, no, Mitch, I don't. He goes, I don't either. That's why I asked you. And he turned around and left. Like that was our meeting after having seen each other for a year.
That dude was so fucking great. I didn't get a chance to see him live before he died, but fucking I will go down a YouTube rabbit hole with that dude.
Yeah,
you know?
great YouTube rabbit hole with Mitch.
And who is some of the people you like these days?
I'll watch Patton Oswalt always. Fahim, the guy who I was just talking about, he's a friend of mine. I watch anytime I see a video of his, I watch him. Everyone should look him up. Fahim's great, but God, now I'm trying to think of names and I can't think of any names. As I think of them, I'm going to shout them out, and it'll be later on in the interview when there's no context. Yeah. I'm just going to randomly shout out people.
It's all right. I'll get it. I'm really into Nate Bargatze these days. And
I don't know that guy.
Oh man, it's funny that I like him so much because he's a clean comic. And he's huge. He's doing arenas these days and just killing it.
Oh, is that the young guy? He's got blonde hair, young guy that is going on. I just found out who he was.
Oh no, I think that's Matt Rife.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Matt Rife is the guy that's all over social media.
Yeah.
And he's the young guy with the fucking abs, but that guy's on it. He's definitely older than his years,
Yeah, I looked him up the other day to see if he was funny or if it was just all hype. And he is fun. He's a talented guy.
He does crowd work really well. I mean, he's on it. I like Segura, I like Bar. I mean, those are all guys.
That yes, both of those guys for sure.
Yeah. Even I haven't spent money on that god awful fucking Burt Kreischer movie, and I was just like, this guy's a lot funnier on stage than he is in a movie, But I would assume that would be the norm, right?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of comics. First of all, I don't watch a lot of stand-up comedy. It's like if you were a magician, you probably wouldn't go to Magic Club to watch other magicians. So I don't watch a ton of stand-up, but I do like it, and I watch video clips and stuff. But comics oftentimes just come up in comedy and they become really funny on stage, but they don't necessarily know how to translate that on camera, and they haven't necessarily had acting lessons or gone to school for acting or anything like that. So it's tough a lot of times to take a stand-up who's clearly super talented, put them in front of a camera, and have them give a performance that's as good as what they do on stage.
Right. And are you now full-time comedian?
Yeah. I mean, well, no, I'm not, because so what happened is I stopped touring comedy clubs years ago and just took a day job and was here in LA. I was getting acting gigs when I got them, and really missed performing. And so now what I do is somebody turned me on to like Renaissance fairs, which I had never been to. And I was so not interested in, didn't care about the history, didn't care about I'd just never been to one. I didn't care. But finally one just hired me to just show up, and I am a musician too. I play mandolin, and they were like, just come and wander around and be funny and play your mandolin, and we'll give you a couple $100. I was like, oh, okay, I can do that. And I saw some of these stage acts, and I was like, I think I can write a stage act for a Renaissance fair that's at least as good as these guys, if not better. And they'll probably pay me more than a couple $100.
Right.
And so I created this show. And the cool thing about festivals is they're usually Saturday and Sunday. So I can either drive or fly out to a festival, do it, and then be right back in LA. Whereas when I was touring comedy clubs, a comedy club runs Thursday through Sunday.
Right.
And then you drive to the next club. So you're just on the road constantly.
Right.
So yeah.
So you're basically a full-time writer now.
No, I pretty much, I do write occasionally. I call the festival gig that I do, I call that my day job.
Okay.
But and then I get acting gigs whenever they come up, but I don't really seek them out. I have an agent that sends me on auditions, and if I book something, I book it. And then I do this YouTube channel and breed snakes, teach a little music.
Okay, so you're a breeder, comedian, actor, writer. Basically, you're the poster child for different streams of income.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, okay.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And are you married with a family or no?
No, I'm divorced and I have 3 boys that are grown. I just was in Seattle watching my youngest son graduate with his master's degree. He's
Nice. Okay.
headed to Cincinnati to get his PhD in criminal justice, which is crazy and cool.
And
yeah,
you're in Burbank now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you are close if you get an acting gig, because that's where all the studios are, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
For people that don't know LA, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when did you decide I'm going to bring reptiles into this shit, and I'm going to be a YouTube sensation? When did that happen?
So I've kept reptiles since I was a kid, and there was a long period of time where I didn't have reptiles. There's probably eight years or so that I didn't have anything, and because I tour, I travel a lot, and eventually I realized, well, I could get a snake, because snakes eat once a week or once every 2 weeks, so I could have a snake and leave, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. And then when COVID hit, I was like, all right, I'm off the road. I've always wanted to breed. And I've also for years been wanting to start another YouTube channel and really commit to it. And I never have time to do either one of those things because I'm on the road so much. So if everything is shut down for COVID, I'm home all the time. I better take advantage of this and get my breeding setup happening and maybe start a YouTube channel about snakes. I was testing the water. I was doing a series on Facebook. I was doing these Facebook videos when COVID first happened and everybody was shut down and we didn't know how long it was going to be. I did a weekly little series called Bob Does a Thing. And I took all the weird things that I do that are kind of eccentric and I would teach about them. It would be like, I'd be teaching ukulele or banjo or mandolin or something, or I would teach about how to wear a kilt, because I have like 7 kilts. Any weird thing that I was doing. And then I decided to put together a bioactive enclosure. And so one of my Bob Does the Things was on this bioactive. And I realized that I've got, a pretty good amount of knowledge of reptiles, and maybe I could just do a full YouTube channel on that.
So it's relatively recently that you started the YouTube channel.
Yeah. We're 2.5 years in.
Yeah, I was going to say under 3 years, right? So that's, I mean, your numbers are pretty fucking high for a channel that's just 3 years in,
Yeah, it's going well for not having any like viral videos or crazy collabs with big YouTubers or anything yet. It's growing pretty steadily.
Now, being in LA, you don't have the LA look, my friend, all right? But I would imagine that anytime a roll calls for like a Bigfoot hunter or finding Sasquatch or anything like that, you would be the one guy in LA that would probably get the call, right?
It's kind of my niche is I only get Bigfoot hunter rolls.
I knew it. I knew it.
They don't come around.
I think I saw that motherfucker before. Yeah. All right.
You know what, man? I used to be clean shaven, or I always had a little bit of stubble. But my thing was, when I first moved to LA, I booked a role on Hannah Montana, and as soon as you have that on your resume, that you are able to do over the top comedy without going too far, you're basically a live action cartoon. All the casting directors for the kids shows are like, oh, let's bring this guy in and see how he does for the show. So I started getting a lot of roles on kids shows. And when I started doing Renaissance fairs, I was like, I think I'd look good in a beard. I kind of want to grow a big beard, but it's going it's going to kill my, like, I'm never going to be hired to do a Disney show again.
Right.
And when I sat down and thought about it, I was like, do I really care about that? Like, I like doing those. It's fun. It's a fun little gig, but I don't care. Like, it's fine. So I grew this big beard, and just now, it took a few years for casting directors and producers who knew me before to be like, oh, this is still Bob, but now he just has a beard, and now he's just appropriate for other roles. It takes a while for them to figure that out.
And when you're food shopping in LA, do you ever get recognized like, hey, that's the dude that was on Hannah Montana, or that was the dude that was on Finding Bigfoot?
Yeah, when I didn't have the beard, I got recognized, especially for Hannah Montana, a lot, because kids watch the same episode over and over and over and over again. So even though I had a small guest star on one episode, it's like I'm part of the cast to a kid. Like, it's huge to them. And I was on a show called Jessie, which was pretty popular, and I get recognized for that sometimes. But I didn't have the beard then. So
And what would you say has been your biggest acting gig so far?
You know, I've done small roles in popular sitcoms like Parks and Rec. People see me on this is in a sitcom. People Grey's Anatomy, and they're binging Grey's. I had like one scene in Grey's. And then I've done some smaller movies, but there's a movie called Big Ass Spider that is it's one of those sort of cheesy monster movies, but it actually is funny, and it's good for being that genre.
Right.
And, I had a nice little role in that they allowed me to improvise and be funny in.
I'm a huge Parks and Rec fan. What episode were you in Parks and Rec?
So there's an episode, I think it's called 94 Meetings or 96 Meetings or something. It's where it's where
April set it on March 31st or something like that.
Yeah, on a date that doesn't exist, or she didn't think it existed, but it does, and now Ron has all the meetings, and so I'm just one of the meetings. I'm meeting with Anne, who got roped into taking meetings. And she's I can't remember what I'm complaining about, but she tells me that she's actually not she's a nurse. She doesn't even work for the Parks Department. And I go, oh, you're a nurse? Can you take a look at this? And I whip my shirt off and show her a thing on my arm. It's a very, very short scene.
That's all. I'm going to go back and watch that fucking tonight, man.
Yeah. And I also, when Jay Leno had the Tonight Show, I was on that like 11 or 12 times. I used to do sketches on the Tonight Show. Oh,
no kidding. Okay, cool. That was prior to Jimmy Kimmel now?
Yeah. Or is Fallon the Tonight Show?
Jimmy Fallon.
Fallon. Yeah. But that role made me think of it because I whipped my shirt off in Parks and Rec, and almost every sketch that I was in Leno was shirtless. A shirtless fat guy is funny for people.
Yeah, no matter how you cut it. Yeah. It's like watching a midget fart. It's funny every time.
It's very funny. It's a fat guy who should be wearing a shirt, but he's not. It's funny.
Right. Please excuse this brief interruption for a word from one of our sponsors. How fucking thrilled am I to have Focus Cubed Habitats joining the Snakes and the Fat Man family. They are literally the best display cages that I've ever owned. I was a fan of this husband and wife team of builders from when they were putting out these amazing pieces of fucking art from their garage. Stephen and Ashley have been keeping reptiles for years, and as experienced keepers, they understand how important your animals are in your life. Focus Cubed Habitats provide security and comfort for your animals while maintaining these insane, badass designs that everyone can appreciate. They give you the opportunity to make their home part of your home. You want options? They've got options. Every Focus Cubed Habitat is custom made to your specs, and you could choose from hundreds of options on their website. Too many options? Ashley and Steven have a huge selection of blog-style articles and complete accessory fact pages on their website to help educate consumers about add-ons that will best fit their individual needs. Listen, at the end of the day, these fucking cages are showpieces. Every cage that Focus builds will be the centerpiece of your reptile room. Hell, they could be the centerpiece of your fucking living room. If you have reptiles that you want to display, look no further than Focus Cubed Habitats. You can follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and even fucking TikTok. Or just go old school and go right to FocusCubedHabitats.com and tell them that the Fat Man told you to drop them a line. It doesn't matter what reptile you're feeding. The Reptile Deli has it all. I'm beyond excited to have my old friend Brian Kazmarchak bringing the Reptile Deli to the strip mall that is Snakes and the Fat Man. I've watched Brian grow this business from a fucking storage pod to a 25,000 square foot facility in a state where they make it almost impossible for a small business to succeed, let alone grow. Reptile Deli has been producing some of the industry's best feeder rodents for almost 15 years. Their rodents are grown under the best conditions and regularly tested for quality to be sure they're in optimal health before they ship them right to your door. Reptile Deli also has a roach issue. They've spent years raising dubia roaches and have put insane efforts into R&D so that your pet reptiles get the very best. They offer cut dubia roaches, bulk dubia roaches, and wholesale dubia roaches in a variety of sizes. Are you one of those bioactive people? The deli offers simply the best isopods and springtails in the business, with cutting-edge isopod and springtail technology that brings in unbelievable shelf life with biostable microhabitat culture cups. They have an incredible selection of isopods for sale, from rare species all the way down to the common roly-polies, man. Reptile Deli has grown into a cutting-edge feed manufacturer and are distributors of the most advanced reptile products. But don't take my word for it. Take the word of over 800 retail locations across North America that are selling their products. Check them out now at reptiledeli.com. So the joke is already written for you. You know, it doesn't matter what you say at that point. You know,
Right.
Yeah. And I've been watching your channel a little bit. You have a lot of ball pythons. Is that the main thing that you breed?
It's all I breed right now. I'm raising up 2 super dwarf retics. They're both females. I'll get a male for them when they're ready. And then I have a black-headed python who I probably will breed eventually.
Right.
And I have a boa that I accidentally got, and everybody else are yeah. There's a full video on that and a video on US Arc's channel that's all about that as well, because I accidentally got him at a US Arc auction.
Now, once you started doing the reptile stuff, being that you had the acting background, did the reptiles open it up more, or mainstream people still like, yeah, Bob has a bunch of snakes. Who gives a fuck? He's a fat guy and he's funny. You know, like, was it more like that, or have you ever brought the reptiles along for a gig?
Do you mean like for a live show? Have I brought reptiles in?
No, for an actual gig that you've acted on.
Oh no, I haven't done that. Yeah, I haven't done that. That's all been separate. I don't know that people. Well, there are people in Hollywood that know I'm a reptile guy, because I do get other gigs on sets now. There's a locations manager who knows me and knows I'm a reptile guy. And when he's managing a location out like in the hills behind Malibu or something where there are rattlesnakes,
right,
he'll hire me to come to the set and be the snake wrangler and make sure there's no rattlesnakes attacking people.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
which is awesome, because I get paid almost the same day rate as I do as an actor, because it pays well. You know, you're dealing with rattlesnakes. Nobody wants to do that, so it pays well. And they're basically paying me to do what I want to do anyway, which is go herping and look for snake.
You know? And if you just had your dream job, what would it be? Would it be the acting? Would it be the breeding? Would it be the comedy?
It'd be, I would always, it would be acting, I think. I mean, I love being in front of audiences, but I'm happy to make a crew laugh on a TV show or a movie just as much.
Right.
So just doing that, and then I would always do what I do with reptiles, and I love the YouTube channel, and I love the community that's kind of formed around that. So I feel like I'll do that forever.
Right. With the YouTube stuff, are you more of like a one-man band?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's a full-time job for sure. I'm writing, and
I've seen the videos that you do. I'm like, shit, I can never do. I mean, you have the brother. You know, they have to film totally separate, right? So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely funny. And would you say your channel is geared more towards pet people or more towards breeders?
You know, it's interesting because when I started the channel, I didn't know what it was going to turn into, but I think it's definitely, even though there are a lot of breeders that watch it, I think it's more for pet owners and small breeders, because the channel has become more of a behavior channel. Like I feel like I'm more of a behavior guy than like a morph guy, and I definitely am not trying to teach people how to breed. I breed these snakes, but I'm new at breeding. And so I'm never going to do a video about here's how you breed or here's how you pair your snakes or anything like that.
Well, yeah, that's actually a good thing, right? Because fucking, there's one thing I hate is these motherfuckers that have been doing this for 8 months, and then they have a YouTube channel telling you how to breed.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the fucking worst.
Yeah, you need more experience than that. I have a good amount of experience, and I think I have a good intuition for behavior, and you know, with regard to like I have morph videos that talk about how different morphs work, or how genetics work, and I think I have a strength in teaching that. I think that I teach it so that the majority of people can understand it. You know.
So, were you part of the conversation about 2 months ago? I mean, it's the reptile community, so everybody's probably forgotten about it. But with the argument that ball pythons are kept better with enrichment and in larger cages than in racks?
You know, I don't get into those arguments at all. I show people how I keep my snakes, and I'm not going to argue with anybody online about it. I have one ball python that's in this bioactive enclosure, which is an experiment, because I don't, and I do say in my videos, I don't think large-bodied snakes are good for bioactive. Not the other way around. I think bioactive is great for a snake. It's fine, you know, it's substrate, whatever, but he kills plants. He, you know, like he does okay, but he kills plants, and he's not. He hides most of the time. So I have other ball pythons that probably would be more appropriate for this cage, but I started him off in it. He's been in there for 3 years or something.
Right.
And the rest of my ball pythons are in enriched tubs. I give them enrichment. I change their enrichment out. I give them different things that they can experience. And I also, for snakes who want to do it, I give them the option to come out. This room is basically snake proofed, so they can come out and roam if they want. And for a reticulated python, that literally means come out and roam or come out and hunt. And for most of the ball pythons, it means roam around for 10 minutes and then crawl under the couch and find a spot to hide and go to sleep. You know,
and make it difficult for you to get them back in their cage.
Yeah. Which is okay. But what I've found with my snakes is that when you, and especially with babies, when you introduce them to new experiences, new things, it allows their brain to process that. They feel a little bit of stress. You know, let's say you put a toilet paper roll in a baby's enclosure and they haven't seen a toilet paper roll before. They're going to feel a little bit of stress, and they're going to sort of slowly check it out a little bit. And then they're going to realize it's safe and they can crawl through it and whatever, and it's safe. Then it gets changed out for a little fake plant or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. They're going to feel a little stressed. They've never seen that before. And eventually what that does is it builds neural pathways in their brain that a new experience doesn't necessarily mean a predator is going to attack them, you know, which is always what a snake thinks, or especially a ball python thinks. And same with like handing the snake to a new person, somebody that has a different smell than you. Any new experience like this, letting them cruise around and check out a different environment than their enclosure without a bad thing happening to them, makes them realize that things are okay. So they don't have to be in their hide constantly. So my snakes are not pet rocks. You know, you hear people say that ball pythons are pet rocks, and mine are not. They still sleep during the day. They still are in their hide during the day. But there are many times in the morning, in the evening, that they're out, and I open their cages and they come right out of onto my hand and are ready to go. And I'll handle them for a little bit, and then they can wander off and do whatever they want, you know.
Right. And how many do you have right now?
25.
Okay,
Not a
so it's
ton.
still relatively small.
If I had 100, I would never be able to do what I do. So I have a small group of snakes, and I want to keep it small because I want to be able to do this. You know, I'm going to have a small handful of clutches this year, and I'll do that with all the babies. You know, acclimate them to different things, and so that
I tell people all the time. I'm like, if you have 100, that's a full-time job right there. You know, hell, you can make 25 a full-time job if you're doing the things that you say you're doing with them, you know?
Yes. Yeah. For sure. My mornings are spent. I wake up very early in the morning and I'm chasing snakes around the place. You know, I've got, or, you know, my big adult females, if they're not breeding actively, but like in breeding season, they'll come out, they can do whatever they want. I don't have to watch them. But my smaller snakes, if they're roaming around somewhere, I'm going to keep an eye on them.
Right.
And so I spend my mornings doing that, you know.
And what are the projects that you're into?
Well, I have way more morphs than I should for the amount of snakes that I have. I have a lot of pied stuff or things that are het pied. So I have like ultramel het pied, one female, one male. She just laid her first clutch of slugs the other day, which is unfortunate. So hopefully next year for her. I've got some pied eggs in the incubator right now. I've got some clown het pied to a pied het clown in the incubator right now. And then several snakes that are doing freeway stuff. I love freeways, and so I have a number of cool freeway combos.
Yeah, I remember 10 years ago when the highways came out. Like we were so into them, and then 2 years later, the freeways come out, and I'm like, motherfucker! If I would have known this was going to come out in 2 years, I would have did freeway stuff now.
Yeah.
And do you do collabs with a lot of the other pet tube people? Nothing, huh?
No, I would love to. I'd be happy to, but I'm new. I don't know that they know me. You know, I'd love to do a collab with Clint. I've had lots of fans say that they want to see Clint and I do a collab.
Oh, Clint is awesome. Yeah.
I don't know if he knows who I am.
Yeah, even like the Tyler Ruggies and the Jubes, they're all I mean, their numbers just dwarf any breeder type of channel, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's so many more pet people than there are breeders.
That's right.
You know, breeders also, the people that have been doing it 10, 15 years, they don't want to know what somebody that's been doing it 3 years thinks they should do, you know?
That's right. That's why it's not a breeder channel. I mean, I think smaller breeders watch me. Breeders that have the same number of snakes that I have, or let's say under 50, that can do the extra thing with their snakes. I think that's becoming a thing where they're, you know, I think it used to be that somebody would have 10, they get 10 snakes and they're like, I'm going to start breeding. Look up these YouTubers, and they find Justin, they find Mutation Creation, some of these bigger breeders who are doing it right. Those guys are doing exactly what they have to do for the number of snakes that they have, and their snakes are healthy and clean. I'm not against this type of doing it at all when you have that many snakes, but they're seeing these paper and a water dish racks, and they're like, oh, I'm going to breed my 10 snakes. I better get a rack and put them on paper and a water dish.
Right.
They don't need to do that. They can do more. Justin does paper and a water dish, and Mutation Creation does paper and water dish because they have hundreds of snakes.
Right.
And that's how they have to do it to keep those snakes healthy.
Well, that's the whole thing. When that whole argument was going on, I'm like, Justin is never going to put all of his ball pythons in 3x2x2 glass enclosures. You know, I mean, he just can't.
Right.
You know, it's not even a practical thing at that point.
Right. This is something that I always say that people keep snakes differently because they have different situations. They have different setups. There's a number of ways to successfully keep snakes. And, you know, when you're a big breeder, Garrick DeMeyer, for example, you're a big breeder, you don't have time to work with your snakes and socialize them. That's just not a thing that you're going to do.
Right.
You're going to work on producing really cool snakes, really healthy snakes, and that's it. And that's okay, because a snake, a snake crawls out of the egg assuming that they're in the wild. And in the wild, the only thing they're worried about is getting attacked by everything.
Right.
And if they live in a little dark cave and they're not getting attacked and their food is being brought to them, they're going to be okay with that. Now they're not going to develop the mental neural pathways that they would if somebody was giving them different experiences and stuff like that. But at a bare minimum, you're going to have a healthy snake that is basically living like they would in the wild,
Right. Right. As opposed to something like what you have set up that gets changed every week, gives the snake an opportunity to learn something.
First, and to realize it's not scary outside their enclosure, and a different experience. It doesn't mean a predator. This is, I did a video recently about this, but these snakes have evolved for millions and millions and millions of years, and you're not going to just train millions of years worth, 72 million years or whatever it is worth of evolution out of them. But you can slowly get them used to the fact that they didn't get attacked. They came up against a new thing that kind of scared them a little bit, but they didn't get attacked. And then it happened again and it happened again, and they're never getting attacked. And eventually you have a snake that's pretty much cool with just about everything,
Yeah. Like I saw the video of you with the guy over your house, holding the snake for the first time.
Oh yeah. I have that series of, yeah.
And literally, like, everything you said before you handed the snake off to the guy happened. Which I think is, and you brought up a lot of good points. Like it's, it's not me, it's my hand that makes the snake comfortable.
Right.
It's not that they know me and they, get comfortable with me. They
They don't love me.
Hand. Right.
Yeah.
And now, where do you see the channel going in 5 years?
I was thinking about this. I was driving home from a gig in Oregon and listening to your show whilst driving. And I was thinking about it. And I think that I don't have a ton of room here in this place. So if I end up with more snakes, I'm going to have to either move them or move me to a bigger space or something like that.
Right.
But I think what I would like to do is I don't need to have mostly ball pythons. I mean, right now I have mostly ball pythons. But I like the idea of having a few Antaresia, having maybe having a couple scrub pythons, olive python, just different species. Doesn't have to be pythons. I have the one boa. It would be cool to have just pairs of a few different things, or not even pairs. I don't know. It's not, I don't have to breed every snake that I have either, but
yeah, well, that's pretty much where I am right now, where I used to have, we used to have a facility with 600 snakes in it, and there's a world of difference between opening a tub and taking a picture because you want to, and opening up a tub and taking a picture because you have to get, this thing posted and sold because you need the room,
Right. Exactly.
And I mean, these days, I'm into like skinks now. I'm into uromastics. I'm into tree frogs. I don't even want a ball python in my house, And also, I found out that a rule that my particular town has is that you can't have more than 3 non-venomous reptiles in a condo dwelling.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
But venomous, you can rack up the venomous.
No. In New York, venomous is a 5-year minimum jail time.
Really? Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Oh yeah. So, because we used to keep about maybe 250 snakes here in my condo, right? And we got reported on that, and that's when I found out the rules. Okay.
Wow.
Because I was like, they're just ball pythons. They're not hurting anybody. And
you had literally 247 more snakes than you were allowed to have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And I got raided by, there's probably like 17 people that came into the house. You know, so
Jeez.
like I had a full fire brigade there, like 4 cops, the health and housing code people and all this, right?
Oh my
And they
gosh.
walk in the house and they're like, "This is the neatest house that I've ever seen." Well, like we expected you to be a hoarder, and I'm like, "No, I have the snakes in one room there, right?" And brought them into the room. They opened every tub. They saw how clean it was, and they're like, "This is the most amazing, clean apartment and snake room that we've seen in our entire careers." But you're only allowed to have 3.
Oh my gosh.
And they're
Well,
like,
what happened to the snakes?
What's that?
What happened to the snakes?
Oh, we had to get a facility after that in a different town.
Oh, okay. So you were able to keep them. You just had to move them.
Yeah, basically they charged me $1,000 for violating the over 3, rule.
Mhm.
Then they charged me $1,000 for running a business out of the house. And the thing was that the cops were literally taking pictures with the ball pythons during their raid of my place.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
sure they didn't care. They're just following what
They
they're
didn't
supposed
care.
to do
It's
for
just
their
coming
job.
from up top,
Yeah. Yeah.
So we moved everything to a different, town, different facility. Um, and I got to tell you, I liked having my bedroom back, right?
I bet.
So, it was definitely cool. But I'm glad I'm not doing it now. Like 600 is just like it's an insane amount of work,
It's
and
a
that's
lot,
what I
man.
think a lot of these new people don't realize it.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a huge amount of work. I want to have this. I want to have snakes that are different and interesting, so that I can work with behavior and sort of figure out what's different about them and work with that. But then it would also be cool to get back into lizards. I mean, most of my life when I was younger, I had different lizards and thought those were really cool. The only reason that I have snakes right now is that I go on tour and I'm gone for longer periods of time, and these snakes
Right.
don't have to eat every day.
right.
So, but as a result of that, that was the reason that I got snakes. And then as a result of that, I've fallen in love with snakes and I really love them, and I feel like I understand them. But I'd
Oh yeah.
love to get back into lizards,
Yeah, a snake is the greatest apartment pet ever.
Mhm.
Because they make no noise, they shit once a week, and they crap once a week,
Yeah.
or they and then
Or
they
every
shed
5
once
weeks.
a week. Yeah, it's just such an easy animal to keep.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, Now, you're what's the total amount of animals that you have?
24 or 25.
25. That includes the boa and the retic and everything.
Yeah. It's all snakes. 24, 25 snakes.
Okay,
Let me look at
all
my
right.
husbandry pro. And then, and then it changes. I end up hatching some, and then I have a bunch more until some sell, and then I'll keep some. So I never know I never
And,
remember what I actually have.
and what's your sale process like? Like, you probably sell everything off the show, right?
No, not off the well, sort of. 24 snakes. Sort of, in that I have a pretty strong Patreon support. So when eggs start to pip, I open up a waiting list on Patreon, and that fills up, and the snakes go to Patreon supporters.
Yeah, because they probably want a snake from Bob.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know,
they know that it's been handled and socialized and such like that. So that's what it's been. This year I'm going to produce a little bit more. Usually I've only had a small handful of clutches, and so last year I had 2, maybe 3 clutches last year. That's not that many, and so I could easily distribute those to Patreon supporters that want them. This year I'm going to have more snakes available, and I don't know that I have enough Patreon supporters that want to buy snakes,
right.
that are in the United States and want to buy snakes. So I may have to, open up a Morph Market account or start announcing it on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever.
Do you have an account on Herp Social yet?
No.
Oh, you got to get
Should
on
I?
that.
I don't even know. Like, should I do that?
Yeah, I mean it's Billy's, right? So it's integrated with Husbandry Pro also.
Oh, it's that one. I thought it was
Yeah.
the Morph Market one. Hold on, I got to write that down.
Yes.
I mean, here's the thing. It's a full-time job to do a YouTube channel and try to post regularly on Instagram and TikTok as well.
Right.
So the thought of getting on another social media platform
I know.
kind of makes
Yeah.
my eyes roll, but maybe I should be on that,
Well, the thing with Herb Social, from what I understand, is when you put your babies for sale in Husbandry Pro, you could just import all of that into Herb Social, and it puts out ads on Herb Social.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, it's definitely a good idea. Also, you could use Clutch, but if you're a Husbandry Pro guy, they probably got their teeth into you already, and you probably like that.
Yeah, I mean the idea of switching. I mean, I'd love to take a look at Clutch, but the idea of switching everything, even though it's only 24 animals, still
Right.
takes a long time to
Right.
switch everything over.
Believe me, I get it.
Yeah.
And Clutch is just ball pythons right now, I think.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I mean, Husbandry Pro, you could do it with cattle. It's not
Right.
even like you could do anything.
Right. Yeah, no, I love Billy to death, man. Billy is a good guy. I'm actually going to Canada this year to see him. Now, what I mean, I almost don't even want to bring this up, but really, the closest reptile shop by you would probably be Prehistoric Pets, right?
No, there's one right down the street called
Oh, no shit.
Tails and Scales Burbank.
Oh, nice. Okay, good deal. You don't have to go all the way down to Fountain Valley.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go to Prehistoric Pets for anything.
Yeah, seriously.
That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, so there's a little place called Scales and Tails, and really the only time I feed frozen thawed to my snakes, and I get my rodents from Lane Labs. They're fantastic. They sponsor the channel too, which is great. But occasionally you need to feed a snake live to get them back on food, especially like a male who's gone off food,
Right.
For breeding season or something. And I'll run down the street and grab a live from them occasionally.
That's nice. Now, do you plan on getting a bigger place now, or are you good for the next couple of years?
I'm good for now. I'm good for now. I mean, we'll see what happens. I could end up with a separate facility. I could end up just moving myself and the snakes into a different place, but I love where I live right now. Like this place is great. So I don't really want to move,
Yeah, believe me, I get that. All right. Now, as far as growing the YouTube channel, what's the plan? Like, do you have any kind of marketing efforts in mind, or I mean, because you already have 25,000 subscribers, right? So that's that's a big number.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always say it's a small number because I look at these other people that are at 100,000 and a million or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a small number, but the support that I have, like the people that subscribe to the channel or really follow the channel are really good supporters. So I have a strong Patreon support. And, even at 25,000, I'm getting sponsored videos. I'm getting corporate sponsorship for certain videos and stuff, which is cool.
Right.
And I think, for me, it's just putting out quality videos every week. And, I haven't failed so far since I started the channel. I put out a video every week. I do it. One of the videos each month is a live stream. So I do basically 3 produced videos and a live stream. And I think it should keep growing, I would think. I don't, other than just trying to put out quality stuff, I'm not too worried about doing tricks to try to get tons of followers or some sort of trick. I try not to do clickbait. I'm not trying to trick people into clicking on my videos.
Right. Yeah. No, I gotcha. I hate that shit. Did the YouTube new rule affect you at all? Because I know some people that went from making 300,000 a month to 3,000 a month.
No,
So
what's the new rule? I don't even know what it is.
it was like they're not paying you per view. They're only paying you per completed ad or something like that.
Oh, I haven't even heard that. I'm not sure what that is.
I mean, my thing is I just don't depend on views. I just depend on my sponsors, you know.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's just a smarter way to do it, I think, because you know, I mean, every YouTube, you know, video is not going to have the same amount of
That's right.
subscribers or
Yeah,
views.
the AdSense income is like I don't even count on that. That's not
Yeah,
you
yeah,
you,
it's minimal.
you want to sort of rely on the people that are supporting the channel financially. I think of it like PBS. You know, you have people that are
Right.
literally financially supporting the channel through Patreon, for me at least through Patreon, and then sponsored video channel that will the year.
Do you have a Discord on your Patreon?
Yeah. Yeah. I have a Discord for everybody. Anybody can be on the Green Room Pythons Discord. And it's pretty big. I don't know how many people are on there, but lots. And because it's
I've
free, you
been
know, they can just be on there. And then there's certain channels on that Discord that are only for Patreon. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you can see those channels and go in there.
right. Yes, you have a problem because I feel like almost 100% of the problems in the last 2 or 3 years have been directly related to Discord. You know, where the reptile breeders and the wannabe breeders are fucking talking shit, and if enough people talk shit, it's automatically true, you know?
Oh,
And,
really?
that's what I've noticed. So I've always been anti-Discord. I think I'm one of the few Patreon people out there without a Discord. Um, but maybe I'll talk to you about how to run it right, you know, because
You
my
know,
whole thing is the Discord is toxic, and I don't wanna be part of that.
I tell you what, the community that is on my Discord is very I think because my videos, I'm always very inclusive. However you want to keep snakes, as long as they're healthy and doing well, there's a million different ways to keep snakes. I'm not judging people. I'm not coming down on people for using racks or not using racks or these argument glass enclosure versus PVC, like whatever. It's fine as long as it works for you and works for the snake. It's great. And I think because of that, people jump into my Discord and they know that kind of stuff is not going to be tolerated. I have a number of moderators, and I think we've had a couple of problems, like maybe 2 or 3 people that have been problematic. But
Right.
other than that, like I feel like my Discord is a little corner of the Discord reptile community that's just nice, friendly people that are just chatting about their snakes. I'm hardly ever in there. I try to go in when I can, but I just don't have a lot of time. But I've
Right.
got some great moderators, and whenever I go in there, it's just a bunch of nice, polite people,
Wow.
which I'm really
Yeah.
thankful for.
That may be my problem right off the bat because my fans are fucking cunts and assholes who are just shit talkers. And I just think there would be a problem, you know. Um, but anyway, Bob, how could people get in touch with you if they wanted to?
You know, I'm on social media. They can YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. I try to respond to comments and such.
You got a TikTok, huh?
I do, yeah. I have a TikTok that everybody says now that if you're in business or whatever, you got to do TikTok because it used to just be for the kids, but now everybody's using it and it's kind of the new thing. And so I had this TikTok and I was using it when I thought to put a video up. Like I would make a video for Instagram and sometimes forget to post it on TikTok. And recently, like a month and a half ago, I was talking to my neighbor about it and I was like, yeah, I gotta post more on TikTok. So the next day I put up a video on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and it immediately went viral on both TikTok and Instagram. And it blew up my subscribers or my followers to where on TikTok, I started with 500 and now I have, I think 28,000 or something because of that one video.
And
and
do you post the same content on each one?
I do. Yeah. They say you're not supposed to, but I don't have time to do different content on everyone.
Right, right.
I post the same thing. I do different music. I use the platform's music, and a lot of times I'll use the platform's typing of the words or
Right.
whatever. But the video itself is edited, and I throw it up on all of them.
Gotcha.
You
That's
know,
the way to do it, man.
yeah,
Because who the fuck has time to just make a TikTok specific video
right,
every
right,
week, you know?
exactly.
And as far as like this was a question I wanted to ask you, but didn't prior to what kind of equipment do you use? Do you just use your cell phone or you
Oh,
cell
no, I've got a Canon what's called an M50
okay.
main camera that I use, and you know, I use my cell phone for B-roll, and I just added I got a DJI action camera, which is like a GoPro but
Yeah, it's
more
like a
reliable.
GoPro.
Yeah, yeah. I like it a lot. I'm doing more herping this year and filming some of that stuff. And so that's kind of fun to throw that
Yeah.
on my head and just go and look for
Yeah,
snippets.
I got a DJI wireless mic system.
Uh-huh.
And man, it's better than the Rode wireless. Yeah, you know,
Oh, really?
DJI is really, yeah. It's something to look into for all you guys that want to do wireless actual you know videos with good audio. Because you got to remember half a good video is good audio.
You've got to have good audio. I think I have a Rode mic on my little camera that's, you know, sitting on top. It's a little shotgun mic.
Right, right. Yeah, I got a Rode shotgun too, just for certain situations.
Mhm.
But you know, when I go on the road and do some video, it's just so much easier to just take the GoPro and hook up the DJI mics to that. And man, it's well worth the money. I think they were a little bit expensive. They were like $400, but man, I've never been happier with a fucking wireless mic setup. And the
That's
nice thing
cool.
is it comes with two. So you know, you can interview people right off the bat.
That's interesting. Maybe I should do that because I don't like bringing the Canon to reptile shows. I'd love to just have my little action camera.
Right. Yeah. Then you get the DJI mic too. You'll be smooth to go. I'm sure it's all integrated with everything.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that 80% of the listeners right now could care less about what we're talking about. But
Yeah,
I
but
really like it.
yeah, I could give a fuck what they want to talk about. Okay, so
Good. Okay.
that's you know, that's the whole thing. Because everybody, no matter what they say, wants to start a YouTube channel. Okay.
Yeah.
And the days of the whole just get a cell phone and start filming are over. You know, because in a world where there's green room python videos, why would you do something that's less than that?
Well, let me be devil's advocate here. Green Room Python started on cell phone.
Oh, I believe it, but 3 years ago.
Right. Yeah. 3 years ago. But also, when you here's the thing. For people that want to start a YouTube channel, they usually don't necessarily have on-camera experience. They don't have production experience. They have to learn everything. And the only way they can learn it is just to start shooting videos. And the videos are going to be crap to begin with. And as they get better at what they're doing, the video quality will get better. I started out a little bit ahead of the game because what I do for a living is be in front of a camera.
Right.
And I've been a producer on shows before. So I know how to produce a thing. I've written shows before. I know how to write. I had to learn how to edit. Like that was a huge learning curve. But still, like if you look at my first video that I put out, it was crap compared to what I'm doing now. And I'm sure 2 years from now, what I'm doing today will be crap, you know?
Right. No, I get that. I'm going to play devil's advocate to your devil's advocate and just say, don't start a YouTube channel. You're probably going to suck. All right. That's the whole thing. It's just, what are you going to do? All right, Bob, fucking Green Room Pythons. Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate you pulling an hour out of your day for me. And this is going to be on the next episode. So it's going to be a fun time.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me, Chris. This was really fun.
Oh, no problem, man. Do me a favor. I'm going to put you in a green room for 1 second and just we'll go from there. Everybody, cool. Bob Bledsoe, Green Room Pythons Follow him on Instagram. Follow him on TikTok. Follow him on YouTube. Fucking great guy with great fucking content. Thanks again, Bob.
Thanks, brother.
Okay. Geeky Geckos is Arizona's largest gecko breeder, and they're helping usher the fat man into the leopard gecko space. They have a really popular YouTube channel for education, care, and breeding, and all that other fun shit. And they have an active community on Instagram, Facebook, and Discord over at Geeky Gecko Creations. Oh, since they're in Arizona and it's fucking 98 degrees there in the winter, they could ship year round. Plus, if you buy from them, they basically have free consultations about your collection for life. That's forever. Forever and ever. Call or text Frank today at 480-299-7657 with any questions or inquiries that you have. That's a fucking man that stands by his shit, that he's willing to give out his fucking cell number to all of you degenerates. There's another Snakes and the Fat Man special with Geeky Gecko Creations. It's hard to fucking say. There's a special 10% discount on all applicable animals using code SATFM10 at checkout. Go check out Frank and his awesome fucking animals at geekygeckocreations.com. All right, I want to thank the old Babe Bledsoe for taking the time out of his busy fucking touring schedule to sit down with the Fat Man and you guys for the last hour. If you like what you saw here today, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/Snakes and the Fat Man. You can't look me up on Patreon. I'm going to put a little link in the description down below just so you could easily get there, because like a douche, I fucking signed up for Patreon figuring I curse a lot, right? Like this is an adult show. So I marked off the adult content, and that makes you unsearchable on Patreon. Unfucking searchable. My fault. But you could be like all these cool motherfuckers right here who are legitimate badasses because they are part of the only reptile cool guy club on the fucking planet. And I got to be honest with you, I can't believe that I'm doing this. But I was talking to the guys over at Chimera, and they recommended that I start a Snakes and the Fat Man Discord. Patrick basically told me that people don't interact on Patreon as much as they do on the Discord. So I have to be hypocritical. I don't know if it's really hypocritical. It's just that I learn new information. So I may start a Discord on the Patreon channel. I mean, what do you guys think? It's something that I've been adamantly against for the last year or so, thinking that all fucking toxicity starts on a Discord. But, you know, I mean, if you guys are going to fucking come to it, I'm going to start the Discord. I mean, that's what Chimera said to me. Start a Discord. So if Chimera tells me to do it, I'm probably going to listen. It's not set in stone yet, but I'm probably going to do it. And you could call me a hypocrite all you want, but if it's successful, you know, I want you guys to have this little Snakes and a Fat Man based community to fucking join a part of and fucking laugh more than you would regularly laugh on a normal week where you don't have any interaction with Snakes and the Fat Man fans. So it's really your fault. It's your guys' fault for not engaging on Patreon all the time. So that's why the Fat Man looks like a hypocrite. But I'll do it because if Chimera says to do it, it's probably a good idea. Chimera Reptile on Instagram, everybody, and patreon.com/Snakes and the Fat Man. Have a little fun. You'll get exclusive videos. You'll get fucking little talks. You'll get discounts. It's a fun fucking Patreon to be part of as long as you watch everything. Again, that's patreon.com/Snakes and the Fat Man. All right, I'm thinking about doing a pop-up Zoom call tomorrow night. That's going to be Sunday, the 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you have nothing to do, stop by and laugh a little bit. It's always a lot of fun. Also, don't forget to check out the last Fat Man Live with Angie Donahue of Celtic Balls. We really had a fucking good time on that one. So I would suggest you guys take an hour and watch it or listen to it. It's funny as fuck. And definitely check out the next Fat Man Live on July 9th, where we're going to have Kayla Graham from Tarantula Land on. She's fucking hot, and we're reaching out to the fucking bug people. I know, spiders aren't bugs. We're reaching out to creepy, crawly people. And Kayla is anything but creepy and crawly. So that's what I'm saying. Watch that, July 9th, 8 p.m. EST. We have a ton of new shit coming out. I mean, like a ton. We got a ton of No More Balls stuff coming out. We have a ton of Where Are They Now Season 2 coming out. And we're going to have a bunch of specials laden in between all of those. So I hope to see you for all of those too, because we're definitely making this thing fun. Making reptiles fun again. That's what Snakes and a Fat Man does. And lastly, go check us out on the Tuesday Takeover Show, Bronx Down Under. Myself, Brian Rivera, Luke Stratford. Funny fucking show, man. We don't talk about reptiles. We talk about different topics every week and just have a good fucking time with it. Bronx Down Under, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. Oh, quick Bronx Down Under news. All Bronx Down Under episodes are available now on all your favorite podcast streaming channels. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. We're making shit happen over there at Bronx Down Under. And t-shirts will be available in 2 to 3 weeks. Can't wait to get those in. So really, if you're missing out on Bronx Down Under, you're missing out on some funny shit. Guys, thanks again for hanging around for the full episode, and thank you for, the fact that you guys keep coming back for more. I appreciate it more than you know. The fact that people show up for this and watch this and listen to it does not land softly on the old fat man brain here. I truly appreciate it. I will see you guys probably like in a couple of days on something. Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye. Everyone talks their own shit about what kind of racks you should buy. Metal racks are great, but everyone doesn't want a goddamn 7-foot high, 6-foot wide, 2,000-pound metal rack in their fucking house. That's a 2-refrigerator footprint, man. 2 fucking refrigerators. Sea Serpents makes insane quality racks that could fit anywhere. They're stackable PVC racks that are living room friendly, and they're shipped fully assembled with heat tape already installed. Just plug it into a thermostat and you're ready to go. When we had the shop, we had over 20 Sea Serpent racks there before they ever became a sponsor of Snakes and a Fat Man. I don't breed much anymore these days, but I still have a few racks here in my house, and you could be goddamn sure that they're Sea Serpents. Oh, and they also make hotbox incubators, probably the best reptile incubators made in America. At the height of our breeding business, we had 4 4-foot hotbox incubators, and again, I still have a small hotbox incubator here in case anything I keep actually does breed. Go to SeaSerpents.com and check out their incredible selection of PVC racks, and tell Chris Nettles that the Fat Man sent you.